Warning, the opinions expressed here are the opinions of Joe and JD and nobody else. Spoilers ahead, and listener discretion is advised. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pop Cult Ritual. We're your hosts, Joe
and JD.
Hey, did you guys like that previous episode? Well, we got another spectacular one here, and we're going to be talking about Kevin Smith. But first, JD, how was your week?
Our love of Kevin Smith.
Yes, a heavy love for him.
One day we'll be together.
Suck it his dick.
Ew, you fucking faggot.
I totally would. Anyways, my week was pretty good. Nothing too exciting. Hit some D&D with the boys last week.
We lived. We didn't die.
Yeah.
Well, we can't die in this, our current game.
Yeah, because our DM's a bitch.
Well, we just suffer really bad boo-boos in it. What did we tell you? George of the Jungle reference. No plagiarizing here.
Yeah, all original except all the quotes from movies and other things we do.
Yeah, and they do a better job than us because, well, it's a source material and shit.
Yeah, how about you? How was your week?
Fun, man. I mean, I really hate talking about work, but do you really hate when people around the whole month at any company, they don't work at all, but when they got to meet that end of the month or quarter, and they just got to rush everything on the last day, meet their quota? I hate that. Go back on previous emails and shit, and you're like, wait a minute, you had this info for like 3 weeks. You didn't even bother telling us?
Yeah. People fucking suck.
You dicks. But now we're in the month of September already. That's what's really, really weird.
This year's been burning by, man.
Dude, yeah, man. I mean, next thing you know, I'm moving. It's March, and then next thing you know, bloop. Right. September. But hey, Halloween is near, and I mean, everyone is riding high right now because I just want to bring this up. People are celebrating Halloween a little too early.
Yeah, like I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, but dude, you have to be fair. Like if you can't start Christmas 2 months early, you don't get to start Halloween 2 months early. Like that's the trade-off. I don't want to hear fucking Christmas music in October or whatever, you know. Like then you don't get to like do Halloween shit in July, you know. That's I think fair.
Man, like I walked into a Costco. I passed by all the candy, and of course if you even want the big buckets, they're like $40. But then this one little tiny corner by the books, I see a Christmas tree set up. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Get out of here.
Get this out of here now.
Yeah, it's definitely way too early for Christmas, but I'd say right now, like the beginning of September, like the month before the holiday is fine for like setting up. That's why November, nobody really gives a shit about Thanksgiving. Okay, everyone's like, what about Thanksgiving when Christmas stuff starts coming up? Nobody cares about Thanksgiving. Fuck out of here.
September, I mean, has, Patriot Day, and August, I would just say like right after July. August, September is kind of the Thursdays of the year. Right. The useless day.
Yeah,
like, let's just get there. Come on.
What's this, Labor Day coming up? Like, big fucking deal.
Yeah, can't wear white after Labor Day.
Don't you know you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day?
That was from Dukes of Hazzard, by the way.
The irony of like Labor Day, like I think I've worked every Labor Day like my whole life, like since I was old enough to work. Like it's not like Labor Day all the fucking retail workers get the day off, like okay.
Well, yeah, because you have to labor, damn it.
So then I get the rest of the year off.
No, the company now that I'm at, well, the previous one too, we actually had Labor Day off, so it was nice. But I do remember all the retail years when you had to come in for Labor Day. They're like, bullshit, you kids work to death.
Right. It's like asking me to work on Juneteenth. Like, nope, sorry.
I usually had a problem with people who are like, I celebrate Halloween all year. I'm like, good. It definitely shows your outfit.
See, those people I think are more dramatic. I mean, there are some like that, but like I.
And then when Halloween, hold on, and just went to when Halloween comes, it's like they're dry. It's like, oh, did you celebrate it a little too early?
Blew their load early.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, like, I watch horror movies and have, like, I have my Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre shrine all year long, like
Hey Arnold and all that.
Yeah.
The bubble gum.
but that doesn't mean that's, like, I celebrate Halloween. Like, people, like, co-opt, like, spooky, scary things with Halloween. Like, they're not always the same, you know? Like, I can like horror movies anytime and it not be, like, a Halloween thing.
Like a friend of mine, this one actually put it in perspective. It's like, well, we work our jobs, most of us, Monday through Friday, and people, kids at school, Monday through Friday. And usually, I mean, if you want to, okay, let's start from August, when people are starting to get, see them spirit stores set up and all. It's like, I guess that's when, Halloween is kicking up. And they'd be like, you have a total of like 10 days, like 5 Saturdays.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, in total. Sorry, that sounded a little confusing, but you only enjoy it for like 2 days a week.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. That's where all the parties, viewing parties, they generally love to keep it around like mid-September through the end of.
Yeah, exactly.
When someone put it like that, I was like, okay, I'll give you guys a pass, but all year, damn. Like, well, I want to go through this our little argument with Spirit Halloween. I keep hearing folks, Spirit Halloween should be open all year. And I'm like, well, remember that costume store for us Arizonans out there? Remember that costume store up on Longmore and Southern?
Yeah. Or that other costume store. It's on it used to be on University in like Lindsay or something.
Well, it actually went down a little farther.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it went to Gilbert right now. But yeah, like Groovy Ghoulies, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was open all year round. I didn't see any of you people, like, going around down the aisles, like, looking around, the costumes and balloons and shit.
Cool.
And then guess what happened?
They closed down.
Bye. Yeah. Dun dun.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for loving Halloween. And
yeah, it's such a niche thing that, like, yeah, I'm sure there are people that need costumes throughout the year, but not that many people.
no. And then you got to sell that crap and everything because,
Right.
I mean, getting too fat for it or growing out of it.
It's not in style anymore.
No.
My SpongeBob costume doesn't fit anymore, sorry.
Or Steve Irwin one.
That was one of my favorite costumes.
He didn't know Bill Maher.
Yeah, I think so.
He got in hot water with it.
Yeah.
We never
stupid.
forget. But anyways, all right, let's go back to Kevin Smith,
Oh,
filmmaker. We actually have something going on Sunday. We're gonna be having a little viewing party for a couple friends who they've seen maybe one or two of his flicks, but they haven't seen all of View Askew. So
So we're doing it because Clerks 3 comes out in about 2 weeks. So we're going to hit like Clerks 2, and Jay and Silent Bob stuff to kind of refresh, and then they can check out some of the other ones on their own time. So we'll be doing that. And then, like I said, in a couple weeks, we've got Clerks 3. I'm stoked.
Oh, I know, man. What would you say? Now, you can't really rank these films. I mean, you can. You would say start at the beginning, because usually for most of us, we started at like not even on Clerks. We started around.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely didn't start with Clerks. I think Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or Mallrats maybe were my first ones I watched.
Yeah, it was definitely Dogma, then Mallrats, and then Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
And Chasing Amy. And I was like, oh, that was the one that was playing on all those old Miramax
Right.
tapes.
they're all entertaining enough and like good enough that you could watch them alone and not be lost, because a character will come up that like, oh, you didn't know that was from 2 movies ago. Like, yeah, whatever. It's not like, there are inside jokes, but they're not jokes that you're gonna like miss, so yeah. And then when you go back, and it's kind of fun to discover it that way too, that you're like, oh, who the fuck, like watching Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and here's Ben Affleck and he's Holden McNeil. I'm like, who the fuck's Holden McNeil? And then you watch Chasing Amy and you're like, oh, that's Holden McNeil.
I get it.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense now. So
I like with Clerks 3 that now we're at 3. Kevin Smith is going back to the well.
Yeah. back to the well.
And why do we like the guy? I mean, we like the guy because he's one of us. I mean, he's a nerd, New Jersey boy, and all. I mean, we're not from New Jersey by any means, but
Jersey. No.
You from Jersey?
No.
We're from Jersey. But yeah,
no.
why do you like him?
Because I've always wanted to be like a filmmaker or writer or whatever, kind of thing. And Kevin Smith's like that guy that, got lucky. He's that story, the everyman, the person that, hey, that could have been me, that could be me, And so like, that's why I really like him, just because he seems like a normal dude. It's not somebody who came from some prestigious, family of directors and Hollywood stars and whatever kind of shit. He's like just literally like, I think that's his like Twitter thing is like some, fat guy that got lucky, you know, like
That's pretty much all Hollywood.
And he makes movies with his friends, and he makes the movies he wants to make. You know, he sells out his own shit, but, you know, other than, I think, Cop Out, like, pretty much it's like, hey, this is the stuff I wanted to do. I wrote, I directed, I edited, you know, that kind of thing. So,
you know, prior to this, I was watching that newest documentary, well, the recent documentary that came out, Clerk.
yeah.
And they actually, if you haven't seen Snowball Effect or Back to the Well, those are two great documentaries. This one, they like basically chronicle everything up to just right after his heart attack that happened in 2018. But yeah, they talk about how Clerks went into Mallrats. Mallrats didn't really do so well. So then they went back to, you know, they went to Chasing Amy. And after that, they wanted to do something like have big stars, but kind of keep it. I mean, Dogma seemed a little independent film,
right.
But you had Salma Hayek, Alan Rickman, Chris Rock, and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon in that movie. You know, of course, with all the protests with the Catholics and everything, he resorted to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Wanted to take a break, but then Clerks 2 and all his other movies. You know, they really got into detail where everything is at right now. You know, how his split with Scott Mosier, I would say, after Clerks 2.
Yeah, Mosier was still part of Clerks 2.
No, but like oh wait, no, it was Zack and Miri. After Zack and Miri, I think that's when he decided to walk the earth and, you know, split from
do his own stuff.
But he would still do podcasts with Kevin Smith, and believe it or not, Pop Cult Ritual, it did start, you know, with our inspiration and our love for Kevin Smith and his, you know, smodcasts. So, we were at the Tempe Improv, and we'll probably insert a little clip, you know, of, you know, me talking to Kevin Smith, you know, saying our name, and he actually digged it. He called it, you know, it's like a bunch of indie rock bands like formed into one.
Yeah,
so I was great. Like, hell yeah, dude, and got that approval. I mean, he even mentioned JD's shirt.
Oh yeah, I wore a shirt that says "Fuck Fat Smith" on it, which is like an inside joke from the Evening with Kevin Smith, one of his stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I guess the venue posted a picture of Joe and I on Instagram or something, and he's like, "Where's the guy wearing the Fuck Fat Kevin Smith shirt?" And I stood up, and he's like, "That's awesome, man." He's like, "I sent that to my mom," and she's like, "Kevin, are you high?"
I saw that picture on Twitter. I love it so much. And then where's the guy with the Fuck Fat Kev Smith shirt? Fuck Fat Smith. Beautiful. I sent that to my mother. I'm like, this rocks. And she's like, you're too high. You don't understand. How are you, sir?
Doing good. My name's Joe. Firsthand, welcome to Arizona.
Thank you, man.
I was going to say, big fan of your films. I also run a podcast show with my friends that are here.
Right on. You got a podcast as well?
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Pop Cult Ritual.
I love it. It's like a zillion indie rock bands. But like to have an indie rock band, it takes talent. Like I could never have an indie rock band because I can't play any fucking music. But when you got a podcast, you can come up with like indie rock band titles and shit. That just, it makes me happy. It makes me smile.
I was going to say.
It was so funny.
See, and no, doing that, I mean, yeah, of course we took our little 10-year break. Again, with Kevin Smith, he took a break from films. We just needed that reload period.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden, like, got old, got a little wiser, technology got greater, then here we are.
Bam.
Biggity bam, we learn as we go. So let's give like a couple reasons why we love each of the movies. We're gonna give our favorite moments from all the viewaskew movies. Now, just to clarify, I mean, we know there's a bunch of spin-off films, so we're not gonna reference any like the cartoon Clerks show, Jay and Silent Bob, super groovy cartoon movie, Zack and Miri.
Yeah, just the like core movies.
Yeah. So,
okay.
All right, let's start off with Clerks. What was your favorite?
Probably when Caitlin fucked a dead guy. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoilers ahead.
Right. I love that whole scene where she comes in and is like shit talking with Randall and is like, oh, you know, you and I have something in common. Like, what? We both eat Chinese. She's like, dick? And he goes, exactly. Such a good. And he's just sitting there watching tranny porn too, like hermaphroditic porn, sorry. And then, she goes and fucks a dead guy in the bathroom, comes out, and just like her little smugness and all that. And she's just like, wait, we didn't just have sex in the bathroom? Dante's like, no.
How'd you get out here so quickly?
Yeah. It's just it's such a dumb thing. And then I just love that scene. I mean, I love the whole movie, but that scene always kills me.
I did say, like, originally, or I was thinking in my head originally it was, Randall talking smack to the Karen customer. But now that I go back and rewatched it, I would say what really defines us is the Star Wars talk with. Dante Randall, the construction worker, because
the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. Yeah. How many times have we sat around hypothetically fucking just waxing poetic about stupid shit like that?
Ranting, but also giving like logical conversations about like, that's, I mean,
right.
around the Death Star too. Now we can't do it justice. I know we'll try and imitate a few scenes, but poorly. But we got a couple more movies to roll around. So, all right, let's go off to.
We'll stop just doing a quote of the entire scene and we'll just mention it.
We'll add a bunch of video clips on
like
here.
Me.
This would be like a 30-minute podcast with all the interjected clips.
Yeah. All right, Mallrats. Your favorite part?
Stanley.
Yeah, that's so good. I think the escape from LaFours is my favorite part. Just him, and I'll do a stupid little interjection here. When Jay hits LaFours with a bat, he does the "Come, son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod," and I did that when I was working in the back room where I used to work, where I met my wife, and she looked at me and was like, "You're never gonna get a girlfriend." And I was like, haha, joke's on her, because we're married now. I'm sorry, babe, I love you.
Bam, slam.
But yeah, then they run away, and the whole Batman, grappling gun thing, fucking pulling out the goddamn blow up doll. Little finger. Such a good fucking
products.
Yeah, exactly. Such a good scene.
Let's roll into Chasing Amy now.
Chasing Amy, yeah. I'd say the end, the confrontation between the three of them and trying to resolve all their issues and all that, just that always hit me really hard, just, emotional, because fucking Holden's like, this is it, this is the solution to our problem, and she's just like, no, like, and that's it. Like,
so what was really interesting, I had to go back to that one Clerk documentary. It was Joey Lauren Adams and Kevin Smith did talk briefly about their relationship and all that, and how like kind of quickly it ended for them, but how he matured after and then decided to use her as the main character for Chasing Amy. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really nice because it started to show him like from how he progressed from indie filmmaker from New Jersey, and then all of a sudden he winds up in LA with Joey Lauren Adams, and he's like, completely inexperienced, but nothing situation that happens in the movie. That's not could have been, but it's whatever their business was, and then out came Chasing Amy. So
exactly.
It was really cool. I would say for me, all the shit with Hooper X, White hating coon.
That is a fucking amazing part.
Oh my god! What's a Nubian?
Maybe we could just link to each of these scenes, like in the description. That'd be a lot of links, but or you could just fucking watch all the movies and not just watch a scene, watch the whole fucking movie.
Well, yeah, watch the whole movie, decide for yourself. And yeah, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, you clicked onto this link. I mean, yeah, you're gonna hear us going through all the films and everything because later down the road, I just want to get it out of the way. But I mean, we also want to take a deep dive with each film, so
yeah,
there's gonna be more to come. But anyway, let's go to Dogma. You and I agreed on the one scene with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, for sure. The Ben Affleck where Affleck snaps. And,
Bartleby.
Bartleby snaps and it goes on his little rant, and because he's like the voice of reason earlier. Like not voice of reason, but he's like, hey, let's do this, and they set up Matt Damon. He's the fucking angel of death and this and murders a boardroom full of people, and then all of a sudden it's like that's too much for Loki. Like whoa, dude, what are you talking about here? And Affleck fucking acted the fuck out of that scene.
Like, no, it's not town or
Argo.
or
go fuck
you know,
yourself.
him as Batman. No, like best acted scene was that parking lot scene. I remember watching that with a group of friends. Like they watched it for the first time. It was just dead silent. Like they like wanted to hear it. Like, you know, they weren't looking at their phones and shit, thank God, but they were just watching this, just kind of spellbinded by like, you know, oh crap, like he's really pissed.
Yeah. He gets intense in that scene.
Like if I would say for any drama students out there, if you want to if you acted the shit out of that scene, that's an automatic A+ in your
right
drama
there.
class.
You go, yeah,
dude. Yeah, like turn into an angel that got stuck in Wisconsin for millennia. Yeah. Okay.
Was Wisconsin really that bad?
Bad out, stupid.
Oh man, I don't want to piss off that Rickman guy.
Poor Jason Hughes. He's a really serious actor. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it real quick because that was peak heroin addict Jason Mewes. Kevin Smith was like, "Listen, like this, you can't fuck this up because this is, you know, like real actors like Alan Rickman." And so Jason Mewes memorized the entire script, everyone's parts, everything. And like Kevin Smith even like quizzed him on it, and like he got all those parts. And he's like, "I don't want to piss off that Rickman dude."
You know, he doesn't want to piss off Hans Gruber. I mean, I sure as hell
yeah,
wouldn't.
no fucking shit, dude.
Or later down the road, dude, it's weird he acted with Professor Snape. The Metatron. Oh man, we'll definitely take a deep dive with Alan Rickman because he, you know, sadly left this plane of existence.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave us Dr. Lazarus from Galaxy Quest, Hans Gruber, Die Hard. I mean, Robin Hood.
The sheriff.
The sheriff. Yeah.
Sheriff of Nottingham. God, the only good thing about that piece of shit Robin Hood movie. Did you see, side note, did you see Arrow's doing a release of that? Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
I saw that one. Yeah.
I was like, why?
Kevin Costner with an American accent?
Waterworld was bad enough, but like, come on, Prince of Thieves. Would Kevin Costner own Arrow now? Fuck out of here.
Best Robin Hood version, of course, is a battle between the Disney Robin Hood and Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Men in Tights. Best live action, Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Best cartoon, the fucking Fox Robin Hood from
Yeah,
Disney.
that's what the Disney
yeah,
one,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
The MCA.
No, yeah. Copyright. Oh, damn you, YouTube fuckers.
But yeah, anyways, back to Dogma. Okay,
Transitioning to
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. We're putting ourselves on the spot here. We didn't like rehearse this beforehand, so
No. We didn't have to look through our phones to Google or anything, too. So.
Yeah, no shit. I don't even know where my phone is. Hold on, let me Wikipedia the best scenes in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Come on, watch Mojo.
No fucking shit. Well, okay, so I'll go. The
You
fucking
start.
Goodwill Hunting 2 hunting season. That whole scene from when they like walk in to when they run out.
But they break into the Miramax studio lot.
God damn it!
Like that whole scene with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon reprising their characters from Goodwill Hunting, Will and Jackie. Like that's us. Like,
So fucking good.
when they just like bitch at each other and all that about the roles they did. I mean, shit, that's us. Like whenever we like get together and like how's your life and shit. But the part where Scott Mosier comes up, make it happen, guys.
Fucking hands off.
Yeah, fuck off, will you? Like whenever him and I, when we talk, it's so much has to interject in between, like during the middle of our conversation. That's us to a T.
Fucking hands off.
Yeah, fuck off. See, that's double for you.
2 quotes. Well, same quote twice.
Of course, your favorite though was Jackie.
It's hunting season.
Boom. Applesauce, bitch.
Affleck, you the bomb at Bantams, yo.
I have to bring up that documentary again because Ben Affleck was on it. He's like, ever since that fucking movie, like when I did Phantoms, no problem. Until Kevin Smith wrote that part in Clerks, he's just like, I can't escape it. Even during Batman while filming. Someone said you're the bomb in Phantoms.
That's amazing. And
Please.
Phantoms is fucking terrible, man.
It's terrible, but you know he is the equivalent to. I would love to say this. He's the equivalent to Leon Kennedy.
Yeah,
in that movie.
Oh
like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah. He was. I definitely, if I had to say, he was the best part of that. But it's still fucking. I watched it like, oh man, if Kevin Smith likes this, it must be. No, it's terrible,
dude. But I actually, someone out there, whoever does like TeePublic or Redbubble, any of those custom shirts online, please do a shirt with "You the Bomb and Phantoms" with Ben Affleck, like the quote. I would buy that shirt of Batfleck in an instant.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Come on, Kevin Smith.
Maybe we should make one.
We should. If we see one in the next 3 months and all that, 90 days policy, we know you got it from here. So.
So pay us, and probably Kevin Smith and Ben Affleck first, but then us.
Yes. We'll take the paychecks. Thank you. $10.52.
Yeah. I'll take that 0.001% from them.
All right. After that, it's Clerks 2.
Clerks 2. I know what both of ours is already.
I know. It's like you guys are a married couple or something.
Yeah. The end, Randall's fucking speech to Dante.
Yeah.
It just kills me. So it's such a good revelation for their characters and amazing.
I would say filmmaking. Like I know he did Chasing Amy, but I would say his peak as a filmmaker to him, I would say.
Yeah.
Clerks
2. Yeah.
I mean, it went to a Cannes Film Festival, and apparently, I totally forgot there was that 8-minute standing ovation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you have to watch the Back to the Well documentary on one of the special features in Clerks 2. I mean, how they chronicle. I wish every movie did this,
Right? I know. It seems like such an easy thing to have one person just walk around with a camera and, hang out, Like, I know they have set photographers and shit, but, it doesn't take that much effort, and it adds so much fucking more,
More insight from all the crew members, how they started, how they ended up. It's really nice because, you don't really get that experience from any other movie. Like, shit, I would love to see one from, Raising Arizona.
Right.
But, no, it's definitely something worth looking, and how Kevin Smith started as an indie filmmaker to becoming a great filmmaker. Now, would we like to see that I would love to see Kevin Smith for once make a great movie like that again, but also almost at that top 5 or hell, break that top 3, top 2 spots in the box office.
Right. That's what I was hoping for this Clerks 3 coming out, that it looks, I'm torn because Reboot, I liked Reboot a lot, but it was a lot of people didn't like it, and I understand why. But I think the story hopefully is good enough, and it's these characters he's, very comfortable with, Dante and Randall, I'm hoping that's enough, and it's not too much of the dumb out there gimmicky shit,
It's not like he's retreading from the Chasing Dogma storyline again.
Yeah, exactly.
That he, repurposed in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and did it again with Super Groovy Cartoon Movie, and then the reboot one. So
right,
we watched the same movie 4 times already.
It's a pretty new idea. I mean, other than Clerks and Clerks 2, but I like the concept, and I don't remember what it was for, but I guess them making a movie about their lives, making Clerks basically, Dante and Randall making Clerks, is an idea he's had in the past, but it wasn't going to be Clerks 3. He the first idea.
What was the original idea?
Dude, it was horrible. I would have watched it, but it was supposed to be, we've had 2 movies focusing on Dante and his love life, and this one's going to be, they hire a female Randall basically, and Randall's met his match, and I'm dude, that sounds fucking horrible. Please don't do that. Please don't make that Clerks 3. God damn it.
Yeah, that would have been the territory of Mallrats or Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Yeah, something easy.
It sounded so rough, and then he had his heart attack luckily, and was luckily.
Even God was fuck that idea.
Yeah, no. We gotta stop that shit right now.
It's geez, come on, you can make a better movie.
Yeah. So then, he adopted that.
Hopefully, it's a better movie.
Hopefully, yeah.
It sucks that it's limited movies because, I mean, Hollywood and hasn't been too kind with his flicks or anything like that. I mean, they at first sound promising on paper, but of course when they do it, the process and everything, and of course it just drains out the energy, and sometimes you have the negative backlash from critics and general moviegoers and fans that just what the hell are you doing this, man?
Yeah. And that's it's kind of the thing, he's as big of a director as he is, he's still a pretty cult director,
Oh, yeah,
I would say
yeah.
he has a dedicated following of fans. He's not a wide, whatever director that fucking, James Gunn or Martin Scorsese or, these guys make a movie anybody might go see that movie. Whereas Kevin Smith makes a movie and Kevin Smith fans are going to see that movie. That's basically it. So that it's kind of shitty in that way, but
someone who, I kind of like to parallel between with Kevin Smith is interject is Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Dude, like if you haven't seen Space is like that kind of comedy that this I would say our nation needs. Like if you
Maybe some good old 90s British humor.
just good humor in general, but it was, and then he does, he has his international releases with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, and then of course he finally does Baby Driver and Last Night in Soho, but also Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
And of course, dude, we thought Scott Pilgrim was going to be big. There was no competition whatsoever. And then the movie comes out and opens at, I don't know, like not the number one spot. It
was pretty good. I never read the actual like comics, so I don't know, how faithful it was, but the movie I enjoyed. So, I mean, but it's kind of that same thing. It's not just like that is a little more specific for that movie. Whereas his other movies like Shaun of the Dead, anyone that likes horror or British stuff or, comedy or, whatever is going to go see that, as opposed to like, oh, only people who like the things Edgar Wright makes or Simon Pegg, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hell, those two should just get together and collaborate on a movie. I mean, either Kevin Smith is better as a writer when he's not on weed.
Yeah.
We'll see that test in Clerks 3, but him as a writer and Edgar Wright directing.
That'd be interesting. I'd watch that.
You fucking people better watch it, man. You better pay to watch it. I know there's pirating out there, which is not good, but if you want to see your favorite filmmaker succeed, well, pay to watch their flicks and all that, or stream it.
Yeah, that's something that always bothered me, and not that I'm trying to be like all virtuous and like I've pirated shit in the past, but like, when it's something like that, like Kevin Smith, like, I love Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith's work. I'm going to pay for it because I want to support him. Some random fucking movie, not even that like, oh, it's an expensive Hollywood blockbuster, they're not going to miss my, $12 or whatever. Like, no, it just, like, maybe it's just a moral dilemma in my head that I'm like, I don't feel it's as important, and I'll still watch stuff. I don't pirate anything anymore because I'm not fucking 18, but
no,
like,
please don't trace our recording.
Right.
But no, I mean, what's funny is there's like good movies being shown on streaming services with like Prey, for example.
Oh yeah.
That Hellraiser kind of looks promising, but I mean, there's no Doug Bradley as Pinhead in it.
Yeah.
Friggin' Trick or Treat, like, was it straight to DVD?
Oh yeah.
And it's finally now after 15 years is having its worldwide release.
I just saw that, I was like, wait, what? And then I totally forgot that it wasn't a like theatrical.
Yeah, I really do want to experience it on the big screen. That's the thing too. Even now with something coming up as Day of the Dead, because we saw Evil Dead 2. I watched it with our friends Charles and Danny, and watch Friday the 13th Part 3. I would love to catch those flicks. How was it like up on the big screen? Hell, I mean, we could go off on movies that we wish we could have seen during their premiere.
Right, yeah, there's always those. I mean, obviously we weren't born for a lot of the older ones, but one of the coolest ones we saw was we went and watched Halloween in theaters on Halloween.
That's right.
That was pretty pimp. What I mean? It was fucking 30 years after it came out, but still.
Like we remembered all the bits of the movie, but there was one scene that got us where Michael pops from the car and everyone jumped.
Right.
Goddamn music.
It's just, it's cooler. I mean, that's what these movies are designed for. Most movies, are designed to be watched on a big screen with surround sound and that shit,
And for those older movies, just to add, it's that time capsule too.
Yeah, exactly. You go there and you're like, this is what my dad tells me about when he went and watched Star Wars, in 1977. Like,
now, original, unaltered, I would say if you release those movies, like if you were to release it December, original, unaltered, like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I'm sure those Star Wars movies, those unaltered, would be number one.
Yeah.
No joke. All that anticipation and build up. Can you imagine?
It'd be crazy.
Probably when, George Lucas passes away. But no, we need to meet him. Damn it. Anyway, shoot, we went off. Let's go back to Kevin Smith. Damn.
I think there's only one more, right? Reboot? We just did Clerks 2. Or did we do Clerks 2?
Yeah, we did Clerks 2 with Randall.
Duh.
Is there anything else after? Oh, yeah, there was the Canadian trilogy with Tusk, Red State, and it wasn't a Canadian trilogy, but...
Yeah,
Yoga Hosers.
The trilogy's not over yet. It's supposed to be
and
Tusk.
Jaws.
Yeah, Tusk, Yoga Hosers, and Moose Jaws. And then, there was Red State and Cop Out.
Yeah.
Which I rewatched. It was actually pretty funny. Like, I remember we went and saw it in the theaters, and I was like, but it's not a Kevin Smith movie. That's like the problem that people have. And that's like Zack and Miri make a porno, okay, is fucking hilarious. And it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
best Judd Apatow movie that Judd Apatow didn't make. It's not a Kevin Smith movie hardly at all, but it's like a full Judd Apatow movie. And it's fucking hilarious because he makes funny movies too. But it's that reason I think that Zack and Miri did bad, because it wasn't a Kevin Smith movie. He tried to write it to be somebody else.
Yeah, and not a bad movie, but you could see where like kind of people are just like, I don't want to see,
Right, yeah.
Especially when you have the porno, at the title. I heard they renamed it in some states, like just call it Zack and Miri.
Yeah, most places it was just Zack and Miri. Even a lot of the DVDs and Blu-ray releases, they just say Zack and Miri on the outside.
Yeah, definitely check those ones out. Even Jay and Silent Bob do Degrassi. So Jay and Silent Bob reboot. We actually are currently watching that in silent mode.
In the background here.
It's so weird seeing Kevin Smith all skinny now. But
Yeah.
Iron Bob. But okay, damn. All right.
My favorite scene in Reboot by far is the Chasing Amy 2. The Holden's soliloquy, whatever you want to call it. Like just getting closure to that and find out that him and Alyssa are happy in their lives. Still separate, but I just fucking love that part. And like
That also, that scene alone helped you in the naming of your first
yeah,
child.
for sure. If you want to hear a boring little story. So first in what was it, December 2019?
Yeah, around there.
We went to the Reboot tour they did where they were coming around, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith, with the movie and like watching it with the audience kind of thing. And so we got the meet and greet thing for them. And so I wore my Fuck Fat Smith shirt again. If we could put a picture up of me and my wife, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So first, my wife and I were like, she was pregnant, about 5 months pregnant. And so we're like, we're going to use them to do our gender reveal. So we had a little thing that said, it's a boy with the sonogram. And we asked them to like, hey, can we, pose with us? And, oh, yeah, awesome. And so, but first I was in line. I was like, Marky, wait here. I had to go up there and take a picture with Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes by myself because I had never met Kevin Smith before. I've seen him fucking like a dozen times at Comic Cons and stand-ups and this and that, but never actually met him. So I was like, hold up, bitch, get back. Like,
This is my moment. You're not ruining it.
and I was like, all right, now you can come up here. And she's like, I didn't get one by myself. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Not my problem.
I fell in love with it first,
Yeah,
not you.
exactly. So, what? Fuck you. So we had them, and when we were, we had names that we were tossing around, and it wasn't until watching that literally on that tour right there, that fucking part hit with Holden, that I was like, oh my God, I'm like, that's it, it's Holden. And so I went up there and told Kevin Smith, I'm like, hey, just to let you know, like, I'm going to name the kid Holden. And he's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, I got that from Catcher in the Rye. And I was like, yeah, I know, Holden Caulfield. And I was like, it's written by J.D. Salinger, and I go by J.D. So, and he's like, oh, that's so cool, and like, it was just a cool little moment. And then he's like, all right, fuck off, Eddie. Like, next. I was like, no, I want to party with you.
You
Silverman.
again. So your life now is in HD.
Yep.
Huh. No, that was definitely a cool moment. I'm glad that our friend from high school, Mark, was there.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. And also, I'm glad the staff, like, there was no like pissy manager or like
Right,
stand up
yeah.
live, like, hey, you can't do that. The line's got to keep moving. But like,
Yeah, luckily they didn't really. It was
they
kind
had
of
a VIP line. I mean,
Yeah, they had a VIP line, but it was like a weird divide that like it was like, the venue staff were there to clean up and do whatever, and then like Jay and Silent Bob, had their own like people, but they weren't like, yeah, we've gone to, God damn, how many conventions have we gone to that fucking shitty people, they're just like, don't fucking look at them, don't, touch them, don't do this.
Snap a picture.
Yeah, like you just like slow down a little bit while you're walking by and we'll snap a picture and then you fuck off, kind of shit. Like, no, there was like nobody, they just kind of like, hey, it's your turn. And I'm up there and I'm like, hug me, like,
And I'm glad there was like no heckler or anything like that in line. As soon as people saw what you guys did, I think you had a sign and all. People were like, oh, that's cute and all that. Definitely.
Oh, I also had him sign my arm, and then I had it tattooed the next day.
Oh yeah, where is it? On your ass? Oh no. It's pretty cool. We'll send it.
I couldn't pull my dick out fast enough to do it, so I just had him do my arm.
Jason Mewes. No,
not you.
Yeah, I think that's a total of 4, 5, 6 movies.
I don't know. I can't do math.
5, 6 is
Two-
Clerks. 7. So
Two
this
Clerks.
was yeah. Duh. But no, I always go by Jay and Silent Bob was the 5th, and Clerks 2, 6, and then Reboot was 7,
Yeah.
and then
So 8.
So yeah, this is the 8th film and all that.
In the viewaskew universe,
Yeah.
which probably you should have mentioned earlier. If you don't know, is Kevin Smith's little like fictional universe of interconnected stories and characters and all that. So
Yeah, it's kind of
that
funny.
he did 15 years before Marvel did.
Well, I mean, if you want to go by that logic,
Marvel Cinematic Universe, sorry.
I mean, Universal kind of broke that ground first.
Like Abbott and Costello broke that ground first.
Yeah, they did. We want to go into that territory, okay?
Right.
Well, actually,
Or probably like Scooby Doo. Like Scooby Doo met Batman.
look at that, no phone, man, or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could pull that shit off the top of my head. I don't need fucking Google. Shout out Google.
Know it all fancies. And thank you, James Rolfe out there, and our other good friends out there and family members that recommended sweet ass movies to us.
Yeah, if you have anything you think we should check out about anything, like let us know. I mean, I have like 190 movies on my Netflix queue that I'm not getting to, but
Like shit, like I would gain a shit ton of weight just sitting down on the couch and just watching. But yeah, with rolling on to Kevin Smith, going back to Kevin Smith, he's not done just movies and stand up. He also how many autobiographies has he wrote?
like 4.
4 biographies, and he did a couple of comic book storylines with both Marvel and DC and Dynamite Comics. He actually let out his version of the Green Hornet, which was awesome. He didn't let it die on the cutting room floor. With DC, he did he did Green Arrow, Quiver, great Green Arrow storyline. Also introduced a really kick-ass villain by the name Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
And Batman, Whitening Gyre, and then Cacophony, the first one.
Yeah.
And then
And we'll see part 3 eventually.
Come on, dude, you survived that heart attack. Please finish. Tie up your loose ends, goddammit.
Like I know writing takes some time, and especially if you're doing like I don't maybe DC was like kiss our ass because like in between there's been the New 52 reboot and all that shit, and I'm pretty sure they rebooted it fucking again after that. Like so they're like, oh yeah, that doesn't really fit with our Batman thing, But then again,
he wet himself. But I mean, you have to understand
that one. What was it? The Batman whatever the fuck one that came out that was all controversial because you could see the like outline of his dick in the shadow.
A Whining Gyre.
No. The other one that just came out in like DC.
Oh.
I don't remember what it was.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there was one that like in the shadow of this, his you could see Batman's dick, and they had to like recall it and fucking. I'm like, okay, guys, like how about we just get over it? Like I get on a certain degree, but this was like the adult imprint. It was like the DC Max basically that they're trying to start because they've seen those like Deceased and like
speaking of
metal and all that shit.
Max and all that. Have you seen like the collections now at like Bookman's? Like, dude, they like up the fucking prices on like Marvel Zombies and all the Marvel Max because in this Disney owned Marvelverse, you ain't gonna get those. We gotta clean that image, especially the Punisher, all your vigilantes and super baddies and anti-heroes and shit. They're getting cleaned up, dude. That's my extended Mickey Mouse.
Oh boy, we're gonna take away for the Punisher from you,
You fat bastard.
You don't get to enjoy things anymore, It's all Mickey Mouse.
Or we hide Walt Disney's head in the vault.
And we still don't like Jews, I mean, Jews are fine. Come to Disneyland. Give us your money, That was all Mickey Mouse. That wasn't me. Those opinions are expressed by Mickey Mouse.
Didn't Spencer do like a great like Mickey Mouse?
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. See, hidden talent, man.
Yeah, we need to get him in it. We'll do it back and forth.
Yeah, dude, to do that, boys, I can't do no justice on that one. But yeah, with Kevin Smith, I mean, we want to do a shout out to him and all his other like cast and crew and everything.
Yeah, all his friends and frequent collaborators that have done everything. Like that's another part of that. Like he does make movies with his friends, but then you look at all the success a lot of his friends have had, not just like directly from the movies. Like obviously like Ben Affleck. He didn't discover Ben Affleck, but he was a big part of of Ben Affleck becoming famous, not only putting him in his movies, but he was
He can be a main character.
Yeah, but Kevin Smith was the one that was like, hey, Weinstein's like, check out Good Will Hunting, like this is a good fucking thing. And that like rocketed them to superstardom, not just like that, but then all his other, his friends like Walt Flanagan and Brian Johnson and Malcolm Ingram and Vincent Pereira and those people that were able to either like have a TV show or Brian Johnson made Vulgar, or Malcolm Ingram, made his documentaries like Small Town Gay Bar, and Vincent Pereira, The Better Place. They were able to make these like, not, I hate to say that like, because of Kevin Smith, but like, he produced it. He did some kind of like, something, to like help his friends, like, hey, you guys, you want to do this? Like, yeah, I'll put my name on it, that kind of thing. So even I think Jeff Anderson, or was it? I don't remember who directed that. Now the one that came out right around Jeff Anderson and Trevor Fairman. Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like it's helping build that or helping open it up to another audience. That Kevin Smith's like, hey, look at this, guys. That like, yeah, absolutely, all those talented people could do their own thing, but getting people to see your shit is what's hard. So
yeah,
and Walt and Brian. I don't know about Brian, but Walt, Ming, Mike Zapsik, all like, having that Comic Book Man TV show, like, getting that kind of famousness, which was really weird because I went there while the show was still going, but they weren't filming at that time, to the secret stash.
Yeah.
And like walking in and there's like Mike Zapsik's on the register and Walt is like stocking comic books. And I'm like, they actually like work here. It's not just like a TV job. Like it's so fucking weird that
they actually operate it.
Yeah. I don't think they do anymore. Like there's all kinds of like bullshit that happened, but I don't know what, I don't know. Like there's all kinds of drama with like, that guy that just died, Rob Bruce, the guy that was always on the show.
Yeah.
I guess like him and Brian or Mike like had a huge like
fallout,
some kind of fight and this and that, and like I don't think Walt manages the store anymore, and like I don't really know like all the inside details. I'm sure some people do, but like
still need to make the trek out there. But yeah, I mean, you could tell like comic book stores aren't the way to make a living. I mean, there's some out there that have done it, but I mean, it's kind of a
Greg's Comics. 20% off all your comic books.
Yes, still promoting. Yeah,
still, I don't even want anything from you. I just want to tell you about Greg's Comics in Mesa.
Yeah,
fantastic place.
You just gotta remember to put your boards in, their comics and all. But no, great stores. But so I mean, our love for Kevin Smith. If you haven't watched any of his flicks, please start now. Look up on him, and then you might find something you might like and enjoy. And so he was kind of that bridge between us, kind of rebellious, funny nerds and all that to mainstream Hollywood now. Now look at he's been comic books now, the funny books, superheroes now becoming like the MCU style verse or DC films out there.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair to say that like it's because of him that a lot of that stuff, but he definitely, I think it's fair to say that he had a huge influence in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because his stuff's always been, Chasing Amy and Mallrats were, years before the first MCU, or not MCU, but the first, like, Marvel before Blade and Spider-Man and X-Men and all that. He had movies coming out that were talking about comic books in a time in the mid-90s when comic books were, like, fucking dying, Like, Marvel and DC had, like, the lowest sales of all time.
I mean, for his flicks, it was just basically cool to be a fucking nerd and all that. Yeah,
exactly.
There was, when people thought of like nerds, geeks, they thought of like Screech Powers or Steve Urkel,
right?
Big Bang Theory. Now here comes like kind of like us almost. Like we do have dorky friends out there, but it was just like you could hide it.
We're coming out the closet, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Sucking that egg.
Yeah. No. For Kevin Smith, sure.
For Kevin Smith, yeah. We definitely can't wait for Clerks 3. Definitely, you have enough time to catch up with all of his flicks and his work. So
yeah. If you've never seen any, I mean, feel free to start anywhere, but just know that like there's in jokes later on that refer to previous movies. So I would say start at Clerks and go from there. Like you'll see, and they're very up and down. That like Clerks is a real indie auteur, black and white. Has a lot of comedy, but it's not like slapstick dumb. And then you go to Mallrats, it's pretty slapstick. slapstick, and Chasing Amy is back to like a more serious indie film, and then Dogma is like a big, with dramatical comedy, and then Jay and Silent Bob is back to fucking, slapstick, like, so it kind of like you have that, that wave you're riding, that it's not just like, oh, you can see how he evolved with, like, no, not really. He just kind of goes back and does whatever.
So definitely watch Kevin Smith flicks and prepare to be enjoyed. Anyway, this is Pop Cult Ritual signing off. I'm Joe.
And JD.
And have a good time out there, snoogans.